Hi folks, we all know the Arduino. I'm sure some of you have one of these already. And I've done a few videos on my channel with just a couple of projects using the Arduino. But technology moves on. And although this is a great little product, the new product on the scene at the moment is the ESP32. Well, it's been out a few years. This is the ESP32. And apparently it's more powerful than the Arduino, it's faster than the Arduino, the processors are faster, you can do a lot more with it, and it's smaller and compact. Now, the one I have here I got off Aliexpress, so it's kind of unbranded. And when you have an unbranded product, when you go to do the install with the software, the Arduino software, so when you try and do the install for this as a non-branded product in the Arduino IDE, the software that runs the Arduino and the ESP32, it can be a bit of touch and go, hit and miss as to which drivers you use for this and which port you use, what comes up. So I'm just going to show you what I did for an unbranded ESP32 if you go down this road and what worked for me, and hopefully it might help you down the line. Now before we actually start plugging in devices and configuring anything, obviously we have to download the software. So if you go over to the Arduino website, which is arduino.cc, and go to the download page, you'll see a download option here. And basically the version that we have here is IDE 238. So that's the version that's current at the moment. So you go over to the download option and you click download, and it will download an exe file. So basically when it's downloaded, you just run the exe file, accept all the defaults, because there's a lot of drivers it's going to install for all the boards and everything else. Just accept the default install and get it all installed, and when it's done, then we can actually go into the software and we can start configuring the software to run with the ESP32 board. Okay, so you've installed the Arduino IDE interface and all the drivers are installed. That's brilliant. So the next thing you do is you load up the actual software, and this is what you get. Now the program files in Arduino are called sketches, and this is a blank sketch. It's basically a blank program. There's nothing in it at all. You can see there's no information in it at all. And that's your opening page. Now before you do anything with the Arduino and plugging in any devices, make sure you don't have any device plugged in at the moment, because you still have a load of drivers that you have to install. The ESP32 drivers have to be installed. So what you do is you go over to the tools menu and you go down to boards and you click on boards manager, and then what you type in there is ESP32, and you get two options there. One is Arduino ESP32 boards by Arduino, and the other one is ESP32 by Express If Systems. Now you install them two, they're installed already on my system, so I won't be installing them again. But you install them two packages, and just again, if there's any defaults, just accept the defaults, but I think they'll just do a clean install. I don't think they'll be asking you any questions. And you have to install them too, and when they're installed and done, then you're ready to go. You're ready to connect up your ESP board. Okay, so before we connect any ESP32 board, I want you to have a look down here at the bottom right. Down here at the moment it says there's no COM port and there's no board selected. So now that we've done all the install for the ESP32 drivers and the software, We need to select the COM port it's going to be using, and we need to select the driver it's going to be using. So what I've done with my card, because it's generic, I use the driver that's the lowest common denominator to make sure that it works, to give it a go, because it's not named, it's not Adafruit, it's not Arduino, there's no name on it, it's from Aliexpress. So I use the lowest common denominator. So basically what you do is you go into Tools, go into Boards, go into ESP32, and I selected the ESP32 dev module. I don't think it's any of these, so I've used the lowest one in that list, which is probably a generic driver, more than likely. So I'm going to select that driver, and then down the bottom it says the dev module, the ESP, the one that we just selected, but it's still saying that it's not connected, because we have to tell it what COM port to use. Now, it depends on your computer, but I found out on my computer that the port it was using was COM4. But as you can see, COM4 is not there. If you go to Tools, Ports, it says Serial 1 and COM1. And the reason why COM4 is not coming up is because I haven't connected the board up yet. So I'm going to do that now. And I'll show you how to connect the actual COM port up. Okay, so here we are. There's the ESP32, not connected at the moment. So I'm going to connect it up to my computer. And there's a little beep 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 on my computer to say it's connected. And you can see a red light on the board there. Get the camera to focus. Okay, so that the board is now connected to the computer. But the software, down here, down the bottom, it said it's still not connected. So we now go up to Tools, go to Port, and there's COM port. So it's now seen it as COM port 4. So we'll select COM port 4. And then if we look down the end again, down on the bottom right, it comes up as COM port 4. But I just want to make sure that we do have COM port 4 there. That it is working okay. Now this is a blank sketch, there's nothing in it. So there's no reason why I can't send this blank file over to the ESP32 just to test the communications. So what I'm going to do is I'm come up here, and where the arrow is, where it says upload, I'm going to click on that arrow, and the software is going to compile the program. It'll compile the sketch file, and it will then hopefully send it over to the ESP32 without any problems. Okay, so that's brilliant, that's successful. That file went over there, but how do we know? Because at the moment we don't know. I mean, it's telling us that it's gone over there, but we don't really know. So there is a little program that all Arduinos have called the Blink program, and we can check to see if it is actually working. So if we go to, let's see, if we can go to Examples, Basics, and you click on the Blink. This loads up a Blink program which you can send to your ESP32. But there's a problem with this, because in the program here, where it says pin mode, it says LED built-in, comma, output. Now, that parameter LED built-in does not seem to be on the ESP32 board. Alright, so if you send that over the way it is, there's going to be an error. So what I did was I changed that LED built-in output to 2, the number 2, and that seemed to work. Obviously there's something on the board that's 2. I haven't actually got there yet because I only got this the other day, so I'll have to start researching it. But I did watch another video online, and I noticed the guy had a 2 rather than that, so I just switched it over to a 2 and it worked. So I'm going to switch that to a 2 and delete any reference relating to the LED built-in, and there's 2 other sections there that has that in it there. Okay, so I've changed that to a 2, and I'm going to send it over now and see if the blink program works. So it's compiling the sketch, having to think about it, and if it does work, then a blue light should come on and it should blink. Okay, it's connecting to the COM port, sending the program over, and there you go. There's the program blinking on the ESP. So we know that that program works, and we know that the options I changed in the program obviously work because it went over there. Okay, so that's just a little tutorial on how to get your ESP board connected. If you have a generic board and you don't have any name on it, and you want to get it working and you want to play around with it, I have a few projects in mind for this ESP32, hence why I bought it. I want to have a play around with it and see what I can come up with. But I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. If you like it, please subscribe, like, and all that funky stuff, and I'll be planning to do more down the line. Cheers, folks.